No, we are where we ought to be. We want to tell the truth this afternoon. We want to bear witness. I want to begin by saluting my dear brother, Malik Zulu Shabazz. Give it up for our dear brother. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Here he is. And this is very important because we need to be able to come together across political, ideological, and religious lines. People ask me all the time, why is it that you spend time with the new Black Panther Party with Brother Rasheem? Where's Brother Rasheem, man? Is he here? Is he here? He's on the way. Give it up for the new Black Panther Party here. Give it up for our brother. Why you spend time with Brother Malik Shabazz? I say, y'all don't understand that when you a love warrior, you love black folk in all the different forms and all the different embodiments. Why? Because I am who I am, because somebody loved me, beginning with my mama and my father, Irene and Clifton, beginning with Shiloh Baptist Church, and beginning with the musicians, be it a John Coltrane's Love Supreme or Anita Simone, or be it Aretha Franklin, or be it Curtis Mayfield. It's what the Isley Brothers call a caravan of love. And you know what? One of the ways in which white supremacy is able to reproduce itself is to divide us in such a way that we can't tell the truth to one another and still love one another. We don't have to agree on everything in order to be in solidarity with one another, especially when we focus in on black youth who have been the subject of so much war over and over and over again. Not just a economic war in terms of these decrepit schools and indecent housing and unbelievable ways in which they are taught to hate themselves, but it's also a spiritual war. Look at the dumbed down music. Look at the music about titillation and stimulation rather than caring and nurturing. Look at the music that doesn't allow them to have a sweetness and a gentleness so that they're able to hold each other together. And not only that, but accent what Otis Redding talked about. Try a little tenderness rather than just say my name, say my name, say my name, say my name.
Hey, baby.
Black people have taught the world, after 400 years of being hated, so much about love. It could be James Baldwin, it could be Toni Morrison, it could be Ray Charles, it could be a Stevie Wonder, it could be a Martin Luther King Jr. And yeah, you looking at a black man, you looking at a Jesus-loving free black man who comes out of the revolutionary wing of the black church, but I can embrace a Muslim like Malcolm X.
Yes, sir.
I can love a Muslim like Silas Muhammad. I can love the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I can love Minister Louis Farrakhan. Why? Because I got enough love in me to break my fear. I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm not afraid of any movement. Why? Because I know what I'm about. I know what my calling is, and that is to tell the truth. And when you're in love with black people, you got to tell the truth about white supremacy. Because white supremacy tries to tell black people that black freedom is a pipe dream, that black history is a curse, that black hope is a joke, and black love is a crime. So when you love black people, you ought to get ready to be criminalized. You ought to get ready to be demonized. And you can tell the truth about gangsters in the White House like Donald Trump. And I call him a gangster in the name of Jesus. Because I was a gangster before I met Jesus. I'm just a redeemed sinner with gangster proclivities. And when you get freed up with the radical love and the radical freedom in the love, when you get freed up in such a way that you can embrace folk who are being trashed, and most importantly, keep a focus on the least of these. If we can't fall in love with Jamal and Letitia on the corner, on the block, in the nightclub, in the prison, or in the alley, then our love is just sounding brass and tinkling cymbals. And let me tell you this, 50 years ago, we lost Brother Martin Luther King, didn't we? We knew he loved us whether you agreed with him ideologically or not. He was for real. He was the real thing. He wasn't some semblance or some simulacra. But I notice, oh Lord, 50 years later, I look at so many of our black elites and black leaders, and I'd say, where did all of these moral midgets and spiritual dwarfs come from? What happened to their courage? What happened to their love? Where were they when they had the mass incarceration regime? Where were they when you had the drone strikes dropped in Yemen and Afghanistan? We got to focus not just on the police killing our young people, standing up and making sure these police go to jail. We got to be concerned about the massacres taking place in Yemen, taking place in Gaza. We got to be consistent across the board. But you got to be consistent in such a way that you straight your back up. But I tell you what has happened in the last 50 years. That the money has taken over. The celebrity culture has taken over. Its image and spectacle has taken over. Posing and posturing rather than sacrificing and serving the people. What we love about Malcolm, what we love about Martin, what we love about Nina Simone, what we love about Curtis Mayfield is that they gave all that they had. They emptied themselves. They gave of themselves to enable us, to empower us in their same way. We don't have enough folk like that today. We got folks so obsessed with image and spectacle and money and status that they end up indifferent and callous to the folk who are catching hell. The wretched of the earth are rendered more and more invisible. But what is distinctive about what we talking about today is that we not going to fetishize Trump as if he has magical powers. He is as American as cherry pie. He's as American as apple pie. He's an expression of a deeply white supremacist, predatory capitalist, imperialist, misogynist, transphobic, homophobic elements in American civilization. And we simply say we come from a people who love each other and love others enough to tell the truth, even if you're gonna lie about us. Wow. Even if we got to stand next to each other and have to deal with all of the mischaracterization and all of the misconstrues. If I can't stand with Malik Shabazz, if I can't stand with Silas Muhammad, if I can't talk about Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, who was a free black man, do I agree with everything he said? Of course not. How come? Because I'm a free black man. But you know what? Just like in Duke Ellington's band, where everybody's free to lift your voice, and when you lift your voice, you embody the anthem of a blues people. And when you lift your voice, you're not supposed to agree with everything. What you're supposed to focus on is what cost they're willing to pay. What you got to focus on is what kind of love is flowing and what kind of service are they rendering. That's why we are here together today, not just this particular Saturday. We've been here for the convention. Isn't that right, Brother Malik? We've been here for the convention. Brought together with Shabazz University. And keeping the focus on our precious, priceless young black folk and today black men. Now, we're not excluding the black sisters. Go together. But we focusing on the young black brothers who haven't been loved enough, haven't been attended to enough, haven't been cared to enough, been treated as if they're just superfluous, been treated as if they're less than human, and is connected to White House, Wall Street, State House, City Hall. And I'm going to tell you something else before I sit down. That as vicious as white supremacy is, it's so deep on the inside of black people's souls sometimes. That it's not just a matter of skin pigmentation. That's why sometimes we can have some of our black policemen trigger happy too. That's right. Because they're part of the same culture of the police departments that think that somehow they can do anything to our young people and get away with it with no accountability, no responsibility, no answerability, knowing they're not going to jail. Well, we simply here to say, we know what's going on. We're going to raise our voices. We're going to be organized and mobilized. We're going to call for some accountability no matter what color you are, because Jamal and Letitia are as precious as any youth anywhere in the world, and we want them to know that. That's what we're here today for. I'm blessed to be here today, and you know what? I'm coming back too. Oh yes, I'm coming back. Anyway, people have enough courage and vision to keep track of the least of these echoes of the 25th chapter of Matthew. What you do for the least of these, you do unto me. And the least of these are precisely those who are so crushed spiritually, economically, but always bounce back. That's why I continually come back to black music.
I need some gas.
2 years ago, we lost Brother Prince.
Gas. Anybody got some gas? I need some gas.
Duke Ellington, Count Basie, Queen Aretha, Godfather James Brown. It's in black music that we've had the highest level of our freedom and our love, and they set the standard for any of the leaders and spokespersons, because if you have enough love in you, as John Coltrane, then you're going to be a freedom fighter. You're going to be willing to cut against the grain. You're not going to allow money to determine who you are. You're not going to allow your status to blind you to the suffering of other people. If you really have the deep genius of a Curtis Mayfield who can drop out of junior high at 8th grade, but create songs that embrace us at the deepest level of who we are. Let us never forget those giants, those geniuses who loved us so. Let us put a smile on their face as we attempt to, in our lives and body, impart their afterlife. This is what the Isley brothers call a caravan of love. A love of truth, and the condition of truth is to allow suffering to speak. So love of goodness, and black folk, oh, we've got a rich history of goodness. So love of beauty. And just look at yourselves right now and you're seeing something so beautiful. And for some of us who are religious, Muslims, Judaic, Buddhist, Hindu, I'm a revolutionary Christian. I have a love of God. Come on. And it empowers me in the midst of all of this nightmare, all of the lies and mendacity, all of the cold-heartedness and mean-spiritedness of Donald Trump and his cronies and Wall Street and the military-industrial complex and the State Department and the Pentagon. They all go together. Never isolate white supremacy from capitalism. Never isolate capitalism from colonialism and imperialism. And let us bring our critiques to bear on patriarchy. It might be a black men's day, but if you're so insecure as a black man that you got to put a woman down, you got some deep spiritual and moral work you still got to do. That's the tradition we're talking about. Thank you all so very much. Stay strong in what you're doing. We come from a great people with a grand tradition.